Hello viewers, and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be playing Darkest Hearts of Iron game, the Kaiserreich mod, the Legacy of the Valkyrie. Of all the majors in this game, I have not played Italy and Japan. Italy is a major. So I've decided to rectify that. However, I'm not going to play this version of Italy. I'm gonna play as its less developed, slightly acoustic southern brother. Now what are the goals? Well, I'm gonna attempt to recreate the Roman Empire. That's about it. So as you gain more time, let's jump straight into the video. Now this is our situation in game. Not looking too good, chief. However, we can definitely rectify this down the line. I do like the fact that Kaiserreich has reworked the doctrine tree so that everything is more balanced, so to speak. Oh, there's still one that triumphs all. Yo boys, where I'm at? I don't know, seems that Mafia is a problem here as well, and that's gonna sting. Also wants to talk to Mussolini. What are they planning? Ah, this makes things more interesting. Oh, and looks like Persia is in their little civil war that happens every game, and that the socialists lose every game as well. But maybe it will be different this time around. Now, unfortunately, everything from this point forward until 1939 has been corrupted. So this is me recording this stuff after starting to edit the video. Amazing. But just for my dear viewers, I'm going to show what I did and how to succeed, I suppose. Now this by itself is a very important event that will allow you to shape your country's future, so the choices that you'll make here must be very, very well thought out. I chose this primarily because it gives a lot of industry, and we do need some of that there industry. I chose this because it gives you a Hawk lobby push. This is also a very important event to choose, primarily because it gives you an insane amount of manpower growth and another push towards Hawk lobby. And the National Syndicalists achieve a majority. Amazing. Could you guess who is in power? That's right, Mr. Mussolini. After elections, do choose the manpower growth ministers, and boom, you have 0.2 manpower as such a small country. Also, it is extremely valuable to manage your dissent, because if it gets out of control, you'll get revolution, and you'll kind of lose Mr. Mussolini. And we don't want that happening now, do we? Of course, we're going to ask for support to achieve the Risorgimento, because you need those tasty cores from the north. Now, after gaining the latest model of infantry, you'd also want to go after artillery. It will make sense in a bit. Well, after you're done with your descent, you can start producing militia with artillery. Why this unit? Well, just trust me. Now here, you want to condemn the Pope and confiscate church property. Oh, in this situation, you're also quite lucky if Austria starts fighting its puppets to centralize the dual monarchy. You also need the north to start fighting the Austrians, primarily because usually they win and get a few more cores from the Habsburgs. So that makes your job easier, in a sense. Okay, this is a very important event. You have to occupy Anzio, so that the northern Italians start fighting you. If they don't declare war upon you after you take Anzio, then just reload. As you can see, the north Italians didn't even try, so time to reload. Oh, and finally, after a million attempts, the north has finally declared war upon me. So in this situation, you want to defend if possible more than anything, and just win off of France's efforts more than anything. Because you are not going to be able to take the north by yourself unless your build-up is just divine. Well, in this case, they're completely destructed by the Austrians, so I have an excuse. Also, during the war, exhaust all of your manpower so you can enact this event, so that women can serve the same way men do for an insane amount of manpower growth. Like before cores, I have 0.65 manpower growth, which is insane. And thanks to the Frenchies, we have won and can annex the northern Italians. Sadly, the Austrians took this province of Bergamo, but I can deal with that. Now the Risorgimento is complete, you get cores in your country. So now your manpower growth is insane. After that little victory, you can just leave your sugar daddy and start going your own way. Afterwards, what you need to do is to start building militia with artillery and upgrade them into infantry. Why? Well, during war, when you fight, you reinforce your units and they take casualties. And those reinforcements speed up your upgrade significantly. So, as Italy, with your insane manpower growth, you can trade manpower for unit quality. So if you just spam militia and go to war with Austria by yourself afterward, you can grind your units against them and turn the militia into normal infantry divisions, eventually overpowering them. However, you need to play defensively until you get enough units. So I do believe this is all Just build up, wait for Austria to finish their war, and then fight them yourself when they're fighting Serbia and Romania. Or you can, do it when they're alone if you feel brave enough. And what you're about to see, I declared war upon them when they fought the Romanians and Serbians, so see you there. Oh, and of course the Austrians would call in the Germans last second after I've started making some significant gains against them. But I don't think that's really gonna save them at this point. Well, we have done everything that we physically can to get land from Austria, Hungary and Germany, and I'm pretty happy with how everything has turned out so far. We better start heading for the rest of the Balkans and Africa now. Well, let's continue our little roller coaster ride, and while we are at it, let's also invade Albania. Well, after taking down Bulgaria and Albania, I think it's only fair we go out to Greece next. Relive some good times back when the Romans did conquer Greece. Oh, amazing, it's time for elections 2.0. Let's go with more AC. Well, I'm already kind of interested in expanding my borders, so let's go with that. Well, since France surrounds me to the north, I'm going to yank Switzerland from under them while I can. It seems that Poland attacked France suddenly, and they're doing, I wouldn't say well, but they're putting up quite the battle. Well, let's continue with a little adventure, and this time fight the Ottomans. Can't quite annex the Ottomans because they own Mecca. Well, I'll have to fight Egypt, Hashemite Arabia and Libya anyway, so best to do it quickly. We have also taken the Holy City now, which is great, but unfortunately I decided to ignore nuclear technology, so I have quite a bit of catching up to do if I am to stand up to the Frenchies. And while we're at it, let's just annex the Ottoman Empire finally. Beautiful. And the first puppet that I'm going to have is Hashemite Arabia, because they really never were a part of the Roman Empire, so they can just exist and be my little slave. The amount of troops the Frenchies have lined up on my borders is a little bit unnerving, but it's nothing that I can't deal with if they don't fight me. And just like that, Egypt has been defeated as well, so let's liberate it if there's a need to. And Libya has been taken by me as well, so now we are looking pretty nice. We have, I guess, nearly recovered the territories of the Eastern Roman Empire, but we still have this Western menace to deal with. Well, since we don't really have any other direction to expand into quite yet, I'm going to take Armenia. I do have a plan, so the next stop will be fighting Persia. They don't really own any land that I would immediately want, but they are a historical enemy and they need to be taught a lesson before they get any funny ideas. Now let us take it a step further and start fighting our famed enemy, the Entente now. Yes, I'm well aware that India borders me. The Romans definitely had control over India, guys, just trust me. Well, we have made it to German Morocco, and it seems that Germany has not annexed Middle Africa because they still have some land in Europe, in the form of Schleswig, I believe. So I won't have to deal with this green blob anytime soon. And there goes National France. I'm looking quite huge. Well, I divided the borders between the African nations that I own, and this is definitely not going to cause any ethnic conflicts down the line. Oh, would you look at that? We're having more elections. Let's get Mr. Mussolini again. Well, I did not plan on this, but I managed to annex a part of India, so that has to count for something. Sure, he'll be my puppet now. It's 1948, and I think I'm ready to fight the syndicalists. What I'm thinking of doing is going through Central and Eastern Europe while this front will remain static due to fourth, and I will just overrun them here and go like this. I do hope that it works at least. Let's do this. The Eastern Roman Empire versus Europe, basically. I'm fine with nuking German lands for fairly obvious reasons. And the first nation to get annexed was Hungary. Second one will be Romania for fairly obvious reasons. Or maybe no, Slovakia. There we go. So the front lines have calmed down quite a little bit, and what's really impacting me is the fact that my army groups don't have generals, or some of them don't have generals, and the ones that they do, they're not really good. So you can see here that this person unfortunately can't be promoted anything above a major general. This is going to be difficult. However, the good thing is that I have a crap ton of manpower saved up, and I can afford to take a lot of losses. France, meanwhile, does not have the same luxury as me. Plus I have nukes. The manpower shortages of my enemies are starting to become apparent. However, my energy shortage is also starting to rear its ugly head. I'm just hoping that I can annex or either occupy enough provinces that produce great amounts of energy to substitute my losses. Well, I'm completely out of energy now. which is not a good sign, and it seems that the AI has found out my plans of wanting to take Ukraine quickly to get some energy from them. So this is gonna be quite annoying. Wait, what? No, come on. Why can't the totalists lead again? Oh, let's get the anarcho-syndicalists. I really would rather have Mussolini be back, also this guy sucks. And there goes Ukraine, one of the nations with an extremely large manpower pool that the syndicalists have had. Well, I've liberated Eastern Europe, now it is time to focus on the French and the rest of the Roman Empire. And of course, France still gets encircled here, even after all these years. Oh crap, I did not expect the Americans to arrive. I've almost conquered all the European parts of my empire. All left is just Crete, Corsica, Palma de Mallorca, Portugal, and a few other places. Oh, and the 7th Congress. Well, let the anarcho-Indies lead, I guess. And let's start mopping up with Portugal. Well, millions of years later, we have annexed France, finally. Oh, how beautiful. After taking Crete down, all of the Mediterranean is under our control now. There are just a few more places left to take down. I do also remember the Roman Empire owning a few provinces here in the Caucasus, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. Also, those foolish Russians calling themselves Third Rome SMA. Alright, I also didn't have to occupy Russia completely, however, we gotta put them down before they get any new ideas about becoming another Rome. Unfortunately, Soviet Russia doesn't have claim on all this land, which I will have to fix eventually. Okay, boys, I have a plan. If I can fight them on the seas, I'm gonna fight them by air. Haha, trying to push me out of Portsmouth, huh? Well, I'm practically done with remaking the Roman Empire here. I have all the borders that I need. However, I'm going to switch and make Europe a bit more aesthetic. And there you go, I did some border changes here and there, but this is the Roman Empire as it is. So I think I did well here. It was surprisingly fun to do, even if the game did stretch out to 1954, but that's okay, since conquests such as these do take a while to make. We have one heck of a land army, to put it lightly. Unsurprisingly, we have inflicted the most losses, and we have taken the most losses. But we have a positive KDA ratio, so I'm fine with that. If you like the video, like and subscribe to the channel if you like the video, and I'll see everyone in whatever else I plan on doing. Goodbye.